Jeffrey, is that you?
A very pleasant good afternoon as we walk into another edition of the Lion Country Kia, Goon, and Ironhead show, coming to you from Quaker Steak and Lube on this Thursday as we get ready for Easter weekend, and hopefully it is a good one for all. Lots that we can get into today. Certainly, it is funny how quickly things can change in terms of perceptions or expectations. And was just talking with a friend of mine. It's like, it felt a couple of weeks ago like just everything in Pittsburgh was going the wrong direction. And, none of the pro sports teams. And now all of a sudden it's like, all right, I want to see if the Pirates can get on a bit of a roll when they get back home. Penguins are, two huge wins this week. And now they feel like they could be riding a wave of momentum into the playoffs. And, the Steelers, who knows? We'll wait and see.
And you're hosting the draft.
Jury is out on that, but I think there's just so many variables right now with the Steelers that I think it's hard to make any kind of accurate projection on what the upcoming season will be until you at least get some sense of how the quarterback situation is going to play out. Obviously, Kirk Cousins earlier today signing with the Raiders, and so one of the potential options for the Steelers is off of the table. So
I thought he'd be a good fit for the Steelers, personally.
Yeah,
Well, hold on. Is Rodgers announced he's coming back, right? Or is he doing the whole drag?
He's dragging.
Is
yeah.
he really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah.
Why would they? So he's just going to hold them hostage.
We'll see. There's a lot of talk, and it's just talk right now, that they'll know one way or the other here by the draft. Whether or not that actually plays out, who knows?
Either way, I don't think there's a first round pick in the Steelers' future that's a quarterback. I mean, you got two guys up there that ain't going to be there that when the Steelers draft, and if they do draft a quarterback, they're really reaching in the first round.
Yeah, yes, and I don't think you want to be doing that. Yeah.
Again.
But look at. There's also the history of the draft is filled with guys that were quote unquote reaches, or even afterthoughts, and ended up being pretty decent quarterbacks when it was all said and done. So
very true.
We'll see. I am curious to just kind of see how that plays out, and then what the Steelers ultimately do with the draft this year, and kind of what this thing starts to look like under McCarthy for next season. Because I still think the AFC North as a whole is just again in a little bit of flux. You want to see how the Ravens kind of settle in on some things.
Their muscles for a few years. Bengals, and now it's time to they're all retooling right now.
Bengals are still trying to kind of get their situation figured out, and now you aren't as confident that Joe Burrow is going to be the Joe Burrow you want him to be if you're a Bengals fan. And the Browns are still the Browns. I mean, who knows how that thing's going to play out with their quarterback situation in particular, but that roster as a whole overall. So lots to watch for there. I will say that the Penguins, Goon, this week was huge. The getting back-to-back wins on back-to-back nights over the Islanders and the Red Wings, and to do it the way they did it, it does feel like they are primed here for at least a run. And again, we'll see what happens.
Well, the good news is if they don't make the playoffs, then they're going to fix the draft so you guys get Gavin McKenna.
There you go. Yeah.
Again.
I don't think they have to worry about making the playoffs here this year for a change.
Are they out? I mean, I haven't even really watched. I know the
I
Flyers.
don't think they're out.
Flyers are hot as heck right now. They won 6 out of the last 7, so they got the Red Wings tonight. So that should be a very good game and a needed game for the Fly guys. So they're making a run right now.
Yeah,
I love Tocchet, so he's got them playing his style of hockey. They're a tough bunch of dudes, man. I mean, that's obviously you're going to learn from the man. So play for the man, you got to learn from him. So,
yep, not a bad situation.
Oh, that's always a great time if the Flyers play the Penguins in the playoffs. It's always a great 2 weeks here.
It's
fights in Calder Alley, fights in bars.
Gets the town going. That is
absolutely
for sure.
It does.
No question about that.
And then the Buccos, you called up the top dog today.
Yeah, I'll be curious to kind of see how that whole situation plays out. Was glad to see Skeens looked more like Skeens yesterday for sure. Then it got a little shaky, and then the bats came through and gave plenty of insurance, and the bullpen ultimately held up very, very nicely. So all in all, a good week in the making for Pittsburgh, and certainly if the Pirates can get at least 2 of 3 here from the Orioles on the weekend, you start to at least create some good vibes again around the Pirates organization.
Well, I mean, I got to ask you, who's the kid they bought? Was that him, right? Griffin?
Yeah.
The kid? So they bought him up. I don't know. What do you want? Do you think that he should stay in the minors and play every day and get every at-bat, or do you think he needs to go to the big leagues? I'm always been a big fan of get him in the big leagues. I mean, he's going to have to learn how to play there eventually. Give him a taste to see how he does.
Yeah, and I think his mental makeup is such that, I don't think he's going to get phased or his confidence is going to be shot if he goes through a couple of rough weeks or, a rough month or, does get sent back down. I just the feeling you get from him though is that he is ready, at least defensively, and I think listen, you look at what they're getting out of the shortstop position offensively anyway. I'm okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and roll the dice a little bit here, if you want to call it rolling the dice with a guy like Connor Griffin, and I think there's several different things at play. One is, let's not kid ourselves. The Pirates are trying to sell tickets, right? Yeah. I know this is hard to believe.
Very hard, very hard.
But it is almost as though the Nutting family wants to maximize their profits. And so, part of this is, all right, let's get the home fans revved up for the big home opening weekend, and a way to do that certainly is to bring up Connor Griffin, who people are chomping at the bit to get his career underway, and
we're 6 games in,
wanting to see it play out storybook fashion, and so, but also. Listen, I think, and we've talked about this, Goon, there is a small window of opportunity here for the Pirates if they are going to make any kind of a serious run or any kind of noise. In that window, as the dear horse in Pittsburgh has pointed out several times, the window is Paul Skeens. That is your window. And so it's a minimal window here. Well, you need to kind of go all in.
I know
you need to go all in and take advantage of this.
But I would have him with Skeens on the road. I mean, I have them in the same room if they even have shared rooms anymore. They all have their own rooms. Who the heck knows? But, he's going to have his again, I'm just sitting here thinking, what did he do wrong that he was not supposed to be on the opening day roster, that he missed the first 6 days, first 6 games? Was it to try to sell tickets at the AAA level? I don't know, but it's weird that they're calling him back for the home opener weekend. So, but I would, you got so much young talent out there that he's going to be well taken care of because who's their veterans now? I mean, McCutcheon's still hitting, by the way. He plays for the Rangers. He hit 2 dingers against the Phils.
Yeah.
It's just good for him, man.
How about the Rockies beating the Blue Jays in that series? Like, again, it's baseball and weird things can happen in short series.
There
like
is
that,
162 days. 162
it is amazing to see some of the early numbers that are being put up, good and bad, by various individuals and teams.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I like watching the Steelers. I like watching the Pirates. I mean, I usually just watch when Skeens pitches, but they're actually a fun team to watch. And I have friends who are devout anti-Cruz people. Devout. It's hilarious. And like he hit 2 dingers and a dinger in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Of course, I had to start texting him like, "Oh, are you not going to accept those runs or anything like that? Are you not going to say hey?" But yeah, you're right about the Nutting family. They're trying to maximize. But if that kid's the real deal, I would have him. I would rather have a guy who was my future starting shortstop for a long time. I would rather him learn.
Well, I mean, I think
the big leagues.
Yeah, to me, every situation. I don't know that there's a blanket way. Hey, you got to handle this. To me, it is partly like, what else do you have there, right? Like, how much can you afford to? Because I tend to want to err on the side of, all right, let's bring him up a little late rather than bring him up a little early. But it also, again, partly depends on circumstances. And I just think you look at Griffin, and to me, he is so clearly an upgrade for the Pirates, even if he struggles initially offensively. I think even if you are bringing him up a little early, and it would be better to bring him up, 3 months later, and let him get more comfortable at the plate and all of that. I think because of the circumstances the Pirates are in and the play you're seeing here early, and I think there are some good, even when they were 1-3, it's just like, okay, the record's not great, but man, you were getting some timely hitting from the guys that you acquired, and they need to make contributions, need to be a step above what you had a year ago. And you just kind of figured it was a matter of time until some of these things started to come together and they were getting the timely hitting. They were getting hitting. It just was, my God, they were leaving runners stranded left and right for that, 3 of those first 4 games.
I got a question. The horse could probably answer it. Would it surprise you if he had a opening day roster bonus? And Nutting's like, well, we were going to set him down for 6.
Would not surprise me even in the least.
So that's going to lead me to my the Detroit Lions situation that's going on. Have you read about that? Frank Ragnow, the center.
Yeah.
He retired, and then the same thing that the Detroit Lions did to Barry Sanders and to Calvin Johnson. They want their salary. They want their signing bonuses back from the guy that they prorated over years, and they want him to pay the money back. Now, his own teammates are defending him. I read it, and I was like, that's a disgrace. The man he had a broken throat that he played through. Like, he has given everything he possibly could to the Detroit Lions. And I'm not even going to bring up Barry Sanders or Calvin Johnson. This is Frank Ragnow, center. He was an all-pro center 4 times, a pillar of your organization.
Yeah.
And you're going to shake him down for money because he retired. He's done. He's physically done. That wasn't a medical reason he retired. He's just done. But this is why bad organizations, not that I'm paralleling the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Detroit.
No, certainly not.
Jeff, I would never do that.
A well-run, efficient organization
I
like
would
the
absolutely
Pirates,
never do that.
Yeah, you can't.
But
never see
it's pretty unbelievable. Like, it's the same organizations. And like I said, I had a horrible experience with the Indianapolis Colts. Horrible. And I talked to guys who are my age in my class, and then you can announce who's coming on here, speaking of injuries in the NFL. But, you talk to some people and they get involved. Like Marco got drafted by the Green Bay Packers. Marco was my roommate for 5 years here at Penn State. We're best friends, still best friends, all this and all that. I often think if I got drafted by the Packers and he went to the Colts and how my injury, but would the Packers have treated me differently because they seem to be a classier organization than the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
So just a little quick story. When I drove out to Indianapolis in June after I got drafted, me and my father drove my car in my new truck out there to train, for the preseason and stuff like that. And I get there and they give me a check for like $1,500, and I'm like, again, I'm not NIL era. $1,500 to me. I hadn't gotten a signing bonus yet.
Yep.
I hadn't gotten a penny playing anything, and somebody gave me a check for $1,500, and I'm like, hell, this is great. I said, what's this for? He said, well, that's your travel from Philadelphia to here. If your home's Philadelphia, so we got an air flight, first round ticket from Philadelphia to Indianapolis. And if you drove, you get the money, keep the difference. So I was like, oh, okay. So I did that. But when I got cut, I had to call them like 20 times. I'm like, can I get my reimbursement, like check for going, the mileage check? And they sent me like $195 and said, well, there's different ways we can do that. We usually fly you out first class, but since you didn't make the team, we just got you some mileage. And I'm like, this is the difference. And you're paying guys. Some guys in the NFL are making, at that time, $10 million was a big thing. And I'm like, you're going to try and screw me out of $1,000. Like, wow. Like, you are a horrible organization run by horrible people. Like, wow, that is so bad. And then I'll give you another story about Marco Rivera. So he signs a $20 million deal with the Dallas Cowboys. He hadn't dry. The ink wasn't dry. I don't even know if a contract may not have been sent back yet. He's in Baltimore accepting an award, the Ed Block Courage Award, because he had played the whole season for the Pack with 2 torn MCLs. So he was just shredded up physically, beat up, and he played through it the whole time. So they gave him the Ed Block Courage Award. So every team has one. It's just guys who come back from injury and they tough it out, So he's on the treadmill in Baltimore at a hotel on a Saturday morning, and the Saturday night is the banquet. He's on the treadmill, back pops, drops it, herniates a disc, falls off the treadmill, on the ground, crawls back to the elevator, crawls up to his room. His wife is like, oh my God, are you okay? And he's like, oh God. He popped a disc in his back. Trust me, I know what that's all about. I know the feeling. I know exactly what he went through. So, he's like, oh God, I guess I got to call the Cowboys. So he calls Jerry Jones. And he says, Mr. Jones, he said, I had a little accident here. I was on a treadmill and I hurt my back. He goes, I understand if you don't want to sign me to this contract. And he said, Marco, you're part of the Dallas Cowboys family. My plane will be there in 2 hours. And he flew the Cowboys jet up to get him in Baltimore. Right? Flew him. He said he didn't let him go home. They brought him right to the hospital, and the surgeons were waiting for him right then and there. Threw him down on the table, fixed him right up, and then he signed his contract the next day. Now, Jerry Jones had every right in the world to say, okay, well, you're injured. You didn't sign this contract yet. It's negated. We're done. We're not doing this. Had every right to do that. And that's the difference in organizations. So I tell that story because Russ Rose used to have me in his class, in his grad class up here, because I took his grad class in 2006 when I came back from my master's. And Russ had me come back and speak to him. And he's had you speak to the class too, I think, right?
I think, we did do
teaching and coaching morals and stuff like that. And he had me as one of his speakers every semester for like the next for as long as he coached and as long as he was teaching that class. So he would come in there and he would like tell that story, and the kids would be like, "What?" And I was, yeah, Jerry Jones had every right in the world to say, Marco, that's we're not going to sign you now. We know that you're hurt. No, he said, Marco, you're a part of hold on, let me give you this right. Marco, you're part of the Dallas Cowboys family. My plane will be up there in 2 hours. And I picked him up, brought him down there. And he was in surgery by that night and had his back fixed up and all that. And Then he signed his contract.
Well, the thing that's what always fascinates me is organizations or individuals who, if you want to say try to pull one over on somebody, it's just like we talk about all the time on the recruiting front, right? Like if you are promising somebody something and then you don't deliver, well, it is not very long. Like, all right, you might get that one guy in, and maybe for a couple of years you reap the benefits of it. But the long-term damage, again, guys talk, and it does not take very long.
You can't tell me that a free agent is going to see this story about Frank Raganell. You can't tell me that a free agent is not going to say, "I don't want to go to Detroit." That's exactly what they're going to say. Why would I want to go play for an organization like that? I'll give you another one. My brother, at the end of his career, he played 6 years in the NFL. His last year, he tried out for the Eagles. And he went up there to practice at Westchester University, and he had white spikes with a blue swoosh. And the equipment manager's like, Mr. Brayman wants you to be wearing green swoosh white shoes. So he's like, well, I got 10 pair of these. I got with the Colts. And he said, well, you're an Eagle now. You got to buy these. Good shoes. God. My brother said, F off. He spatted and put a green swoosh. But the other thing was, my brother went up there in the middle of camp and says, "Gotta get 2 pair of socks." And the guy's like, "They're $6 a piece."
Oh my God!
They were hammering these guys for just tape, socks, cleats, like any other football program in the history of the freaking world.
Yeah, that's
like it's horrible, right? You think about that, and you're like, "What in God's name is going on here?"
That's bonkers.
It's horrendous. But then. You know who changed that whole was the 49ers and George Welsh. He changed that whole thing about the light practices and then the ownership of them being a team and family and that type of thing. I guess it wasn't George Walsh. I guess it would have been the Barlows and the family that owned the
Bill
Walsh. Who is it? George Walsh.
George Walsh.
UVA.
Great coach in his own right.
But yes. But Bill Walsh and the 49ers, they really changed.
Yeah, the
Barlows did a lot of that.
Again, the to not understand the long-term benefits of
it's like people don't talk. I mean, but then you know what, Jeff? There wasn't free agency then. Reggie White was the first open free agent. So I guess that they could treat players like that because they had them locked in. Oh my God, how bad? I mean, we've come a long way, thank God.
Yeah, no, in that regard, it is. Yes, you'd like to think that, hey, considering the money we're making, and again, I'm not saying you just spend frivolously on anything and everything players want, but it does seem like socks and shoes. And
that's frivolous.
Maybe a few clothes here and there, a sweatshirt. Like,
why would you not have?
Go ahead and provide that.
1,000 pair of socks, but why wouldn't Nike or Puma or Apex or wherever Reebok just donate this? And they may have actually been given to them too. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Very, very interesting. All right, we'll take a break here and be back. Oh, do we want to announce our upcoming guest?
Well, yeah, speaking of the 94, so we talked the other day about the reunions that we're having with Coach Campbell and his staff, and tomorrow is the 1990s, so there's a lot of guys coming in. So Ki-Jana Carter will be here by around 3, he said. So he said 2, but it's 3 now. It is what it is.
Look forward to
beggars can't be choosers, man. So speaking of injuries in the NFL and bad organizations that he may have played for 1 or 2 of them.
Always good catching up with Ki-Jana Carter, and we will do that in the 3 o'clock hour here this afternoon. Again, right now we'll take a break. Be back with much more. You're listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
You look a bit nervous, hey?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, the World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. The official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get too quick and steak and lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get too quick to steak and lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, the Fox, your sports radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America. 98.7, the Fox State College.
And back here on a Thursday afternoon as we head into Easter weekend. It is the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. We are at Quaker Steak and Lube. Great place to come on down and watch all of that Major League Baseball action, NHL hockey, including the upcoming playoffs. And, you know, if you want to watch
can't
the
watch
NBA
Flyers,
or something,
obviously, you know, with the whole blackout rule. Stupidest thing I ever heard.
It does seem like in this day and
It's
age,
petty.
it seems like we ought to be past that.
For those who don't
at
know,
this point.
State College was when Xfinity, aka Comcast, came to the State College area. And they were going to put all their Flyers games on Comcast, like the Sixers and the Phillies games are all on. The Penguins and then the NHL made an agreement. This is considered Penguins territory.
You're in
so
Penguins
all
country now.
Flyers games are blacked out. But yet you drive 10 miles down the road and you get both. It's just the State College proper. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard. And I actually 1 year paid for the NHL season package on my television, and it was still blacked out because it said no, that game's on. And I'm like, it's not on. I remember having conversations with Comcast saying the game is not on, it is blacked out here.
Yep.
And they just couldn't understand it. It's horrible as a Flyers fan.
Honestly, I mean,
you're happy about it, obviously.
Well, I wouldn't say
because I've said this. This is back when I was working with John Thomas. John Thomas had younger kids. And I said, watch. I said, Comcast is finally here in State College. I said, you're going to see more Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers and Phillies fans because they're going to see them. And a little bit at the time, they were much more successful. The Phillies have been for a while. And I said, you're going to have more Phillies fans growing up in this area than Pirates fans. They're going to stay with the Penguins and they're going to stay with the Steelers most likely.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
At a younger age, if you have a choice, you're going to watch the Phillies right now over top the Pirates, and that's been like that for 10-plus years.
I can't argue that. Yeah. It's
well, hell, we got the Mad Turtle rooting for the freaking Padres.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
That's because of one player.
That's what got him initially initially into it, although.
Who was your favorite player growing up?
Oh, growing up.
Like, who was your first favorite player? I know exactly who mine was.
Yeah, I mean, Willie Stargell was the first, like, big star for me. But we tended to, when we were playing our pickup games or wiffle ball games, we had a couple of kids in the neighborhood that were big Yankees fans, in large part because the Yankees games you could see,
exactly what I'm going to say.
Yeah, you got the Yankees and the Braves more than you got the Pirates in those days in this area.
Here's a 3-2 pitch to Chipper Jones.
So we would have, I mean, different guys would, all right, I'm so-and-so coming up.
Mine was Thurman Munson. Loved him. Cried when he passed.
Yeah.
Named my dog. We had, well, the reason we liked the Yankees or watched the Yankees because Reggie Jackson grew up in the town right next to ours. He grew up in Cheltenham High School, so he was sort of a local guy. So him and Thurman, they were the guys, man. And then we had an Irish setter and a lab. They were named Thurman and Reggie. I mean, that's it was that was my guy was Thurman Munson.
Yeah, I don't know. It was funny though.
But you're like a little kid. Like the Turtle will eventually, I think, turn into a Philly or a Pirate fan. I think that's all.
Yeah, I mean, he likes the like we go down to a couple of Pirates games each year. So
they start getting competitive.
He does follow them. And it's the same thing. I mean, he's a Dolphins fan, but he follows the Steelers.
But he likes Tua, right?
As closely, or we're a little heartbroken.
Tua is the Steelers. That's their dream scenario right there. Tua in Pittsburgh, baby. When I think of Pittsburgh, I think of Tua.
Yeah, who doesn't? That's perfect fit for the Steelers culture. No question about it. The toughness, the cold, everything about it. Just the
wind in the stadium because he throws such a fierce, fastball, tight spirals.
Fires it in there every time. Absolutely. No, I think it's just a matter of time till they make.
Hey, we're going to be here all week. We'll be here all week. My wife, Miss Carrie Ann, she grew up liking the Cubs because they had they're rural, so they had the satellite dishes.
Yeah.
So it was a choice of the. I guess that was did Turner have the Braves on? She was born in the 80s. So he was playing the Braves broadcast in the 80s, early 80s.
Yeah, because
Wow.
we started watching them. It would have been sometime in the early 80s there.
Yeah,
They started because we were watching.
Cubs were on WPXI, I think, was on a national TV. We had that in the Philadelphia area. We had the New York Mets at times. We had the Phillies, and then the Braves, I guess. That's a lot of options right there growing up.
Yeah, we didn't have.
But she grew up a Cubs fan because that's the only games that they got. So they sort of gravitated towards the Cubs.
Yeah, we would do a lot of tuning through the radio more than the TV to find at night, trying to find different.
I know we have a big listener here, my
broadcasts.
buddy Nick Downs. He used to be one of our videographers with the football program.
Yeah.
Moon. He used to sit there and say he was a big AM guy, and he was saying the AM waves at night were a lot clearer to get. And you're a radio guy, so you get it. He would get Harry Callis out of Philadelphia, and he absolutely loved it. And there was times when he was getting the Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah.
Hockey broadcasts on the AM radio and stuff. He goes, at nighttime, not during the day. I always found that interesting.
Yeah, at night. So we used to vacation up in Canada for a week, at least a week every summer. And you could get, for sure, Detroit. We got St. Louis the 1 year. For whatever reason, we were getting it clear as could be. And we would listen to, a couple of their games just for something to do. And it is amazing what you can get hooked on or interested in just because of availability, like you're saying, or you connect with a particular player or even just a fan base. And I think we've talked about this. It's one of the things that I think is really neat about the both the Big Ten, but even more so the NCAA wrestling championships is inevitably you're out at grabbing a bite to eat, or you're just sitting in the lobby waiting to catch an elevator, and you start talking. It's like, oh, I'm so and so's mom, or I'm this kid's uncle, and then all of a sudden you have a rooting interest in a kid that you would not have otherwise had any thought of, but it's you just end up hearing a little bit about their story, or you just seem like a friendly person, and watch for your kid and root for them.
I mean, you got to hear it a lot of people coming up to you and saying, "Hey, I loved your making this call." You got to hear that a lot. You can pat yourself on your back. You deserve it. You get a lot of that stuff, and just randoms coming up to you and saying, "Hey, thank you. I'm I'll introduce myself. You do a hell of a job as the announcer."
Well, I will say it is surprising to me the number of people, and part of it is obviously with the internet now, and there's only, I think there were only 5 of us out there at Nationals this year that do radio for wrestling. So if you're obviously, if you're an Oklahoma State fan, you're listening to, have been listening to Rex. Rex is retiring this season, but, if you're Iowa, you're listening to Steve Grace and Mark Ironside. Rutgers has
Great wrestling name.
It's student station.
Ironside.
But but like Minnesota fans will come up to me. It's like, yeah, we're glad you provide the coverage. And when our kids are up, you mention them, or again, you go down the list of teams that it's and you just don't think of it until they come up and talk to you. But yeah, it is. It's fun to.
Well, I was telling somebody during when you were away doing the event, like, pre-Kale, how many matches were you doing at Nationals versus now where you're doing every session, every match pretty much?
Yeah, although, we did – we always did all of the finals. And so even if Penn State didn't have anybody in there, we would do it. And Yeah, I mean, obviously that has changed
And you got, I
drastically
mean,
in terms
as the
of
announcer, you need to worry about that with your throat and all, right?
Yeah, I mean, try to rest up and get the lozenges and all of that stuff. But yeah, it's.
I guess if maybe listen, what I'm trying to say is if we have only 3 guys in the final, there's only 3 guys wrestling in the semis, and maybe 4 other. But now we got 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 going every match, and the Ironhead's yapping on every one of them. And you're alone. You don't have a co-host. Is anybody else set up like you?
Rex, the last couple of years, Oklahoma State. So they used to always have 2 guys in their broadcast, and at least on at nationals, the last 2 years anyway, it's been just Rex. I don't know if he has anybody that helps him out, like with the home matches or during the regular season. Now he does baseball for them as well, so they usually have somebody that's filling in for baseball. I think he's continuing to do the baseball next year, but he's going to back off of the wrestling. They have another younger kid that's going to come in and fill his role. But prior to that, he always had a color guy. I think everybody else has, the traditional play-by-play and color. So always fun to just catch up with those guys too, and kind of hear about their travel and everything that goes into it as well. And you get to hear a little bit of the stories behind some of what's gone on with their respective seasons as well. So that part is fun, no doubt about it. Couple of other things, Goon, just as we gear up for April, is one of those months that I do think is just fun for sports fans. Obviously, you have the NFL draft coming up, blue-white weekend, I guess we're calling it. But now we're into to baseball season. You're getting ready for NHL playoffs. There's just a lot going on. The Masters coming up,
next weekend.
Final Four.
Spring is sprung, buddy.
Who are you taking in the Final Four?
Well, everybody's saying that the national champions is going to be UConn and Michigan, and Michigan's got everything going on. Like, they got the inside game, the outside game. The 7-2 guy is really, really good in the middle.
Yeah.
But I got a little thing for Illinois out there. I mean, there's always the underdog aspect of it. So I think I saw this morning that this is the first time since 1985 that both games are 10-plus point spreads. And I think that UConn, it's like I told you on Tuesday, I just think that, anytime they get down, they're not going to ever think that they're out with what they did. Coming
sure.
back and winning that game over Duke and how they did it.
Yeah.
I don't think you're not going to beat them mentally. They're always going to feel like they're in that. But Michigan's so legit. But Arizona's like that dark horse out there that no one's really even mentioning. And they are damn good, man. They are a pretty damn good team. But it's hard to pick against Michigan right now because they seem like they're destined. They're all playing. They all seem to like that May guy as their coach, and they're all playing pretty damn hard. Inside, outside. I mean, if the big guy's not playing well, they have a great outside game, and they're hustling. They're not just lackadaisical out there. So I think Michigan may take it, but I'm rooting, obviously, for that to not happen ever. The heart's with Illinois as the underdog, but I don't mind seeing UConn win it. I think that UConn has never really gotten the love that they deserve. That, Calhoun, I mean, how many titles did he win? He won more than Krzyzewski, I believe. I really do, and I don't think that he gets enough love for what he did up at UConn. And with Hurley coming in there, he's coaching for his second national title now. I don't know. That you saw the post shot when he headbutted the referee or got in the referee's face.
Yeah.
He looks like a mental case. Like he looks absolutely insane. Like, who is this guy? I have no idea what he's doing. You know, did you catch that? I mean, he just looks like that's a weird thing he did.
Yeah, I didn't.
It was like he was flexing on the ref or something.
Yeah, I didn't see it when it happened, but yes.
No, but again, like we said the other day, I mean, should it have been a technical? I mean, that and the guys running on the court, and then, you know, you don't want to be like the damper or the bad guy and not, you know, kill guys fun and all that stuff. But geez, when you get in the referee's face and you make contact, it's that definition of when a tech should be thrown. But and a little bit of me is like, it's good for the referee that he didn't do that, because again, that's when your referees, I hate when they start trying to, you know, make it about them out there. I don't know if you're watching this KC game right there. Look at this wind blowing up. Every pitch there's like a windstorm coming up. It's horribly. It's got to be scary as a player. It's crazy. I watched the Phillies game the other day, and it was the one that Nola pitched, and he's sitting halfway through as those shadows at 4:00 in the afternoon. That's scary as a batter, man. You're in the sun, the pitcher's in the shade, and the ball is coming from the sun into the shade. It's really scary to think about that. Those balls coming in 90-some miles an hour, and your reflex time is only so long. Oh, man, baseball.
I know it's not. You're making me think about the weather and the State High. Actually, I think all of their. And if I'm wrong, somebody can text me and correct me. I think everything got canceled or postponed today. I mean, you're outside right now. I'm all right. It's not perfectly warm, but what are we doing?
Yeah,
like
canceling
I
sports.
know it's always the good old days, but man, it took a lot for us to have school canceled. Now it's like, whoa, I think they're calling for a flurry. We got to get can't have the buses going out. But now even on the sports front, and even if there was, I guess I don't know for sure if the Harrisburg area schools are. Well, I don't know if they are off today, but if they are, and I'm thinking they are. I know State College is off. Like, why not? Hey, come up a little bit early. Well, at some point here, over a 6-hour window, let's get the game in. And they could have gotten it in at any point here.
Why are they off?
I don't know. Penn State baseball canceled last night, and I mean it was
sports are off, or school was off today.
School was off, and now the sports have been canceled because of weather.
Mind. It's Easter.
And
it's Good Thursday,
right?
Good Friday, yeah.
And
my mother and father just rolled over.
Penn State baseball last night. I mean, again, it was if they had just left the game as scheduled with UCF, it would have been a perfect night out at the ballpark.
Yeah.
And
now
I just don't
get what you're
remember
saying.
stuff being threatened. Hey, school. Because there's a forecast that there could be rain, and everything I saw last night was saying, yeah, might get a passing shower, and they still call it off. I don't know.
I still laugh at Penn State getting days off now from weather.
Well,
they cancel school at Penn State. I mean, we'll have Ki-Jana on here in a minute, but I remember I tell you the story all the time, Ironhead. Weather bulletin comes across, do not go outside for more than 5 minutes with exposed skin. You will get frostbite. That's how cold it was that day. School was not canceled, and it was a lot longer than a 5-minute walk to campus to your class.
Yeah.
And nowadays, if it's threatening to ice or snow, they're canceling school here at the college. Jeez.
Yeah.
It's kids, KJ. We used to be tough, KJ. We used to be tough.
It does seem just strange to me that wouldn't try to get the games in if you can. Especially, I mean, last spring we did have a ton of rain. I mean, and it was a nightmare for athletic directors to try to get stuff rescheduled. And again, there's a lot that goes into it. But because of all of that, I would think if you have an early season opportunity to get the game in, get it in.
Do it.
And again, the weather. Everything I was looking at last night was like, yeah, I might get a passing shower. So I'm like, oh, this will be perfect. And I thought friend texted me. He's like, "Hey, just so you know, the game is off today." And I'm like, "You're a day late with the April Fools. Like, why would they cancel today?" Like, no, they called it off earlier this morning. I'm like,
April Fools.
Okay, why would you?
There was a couple yesterday that I was getting phone calls about. By the way,
I got a phone call on. Did you see Bo Nichols?
Everybody was calling me. I can't believe it.
I'm like, guys,
on.
like, think about what day it is.
Like, that's as bad as the one I saw was James Franklin's going to have a statue on campus, and people were flipping out, and it's like, dude, come on. Like, let's think about this. Let's put it all together. It's just such a lightning rod.
Yeah.
Statue in Penn State is all you got to say, and then it's a lightning rod.
Well, they had the
exactly. He's in the Letterman's Club.
They had the State College
First time he's up there.
Youth wrestling banquet last night, and Jason Nickel, of course, is the head coach of the high school team, and so I went over and I'm like, so are you? I'm assuming you're residing here at State High. You're following Bo out to Iowa City. That's absolutely right. So
that was a good one.
They were having some fun.
He did that on his own. Onward State did some funny ones. They said that the Lions Den was selling. Everybody was flipping out on that one. How could they do that? Come on, man. Look at the days.
Yeah.
There were some good ones back in the day.
Yeah, there have been.
Yeah, but the statue one was my favorite. People were calling me flipping out, going crazy.
Yeah, it does not take much.
We didn't learn this lesson. Oh, my God. Stop. Stop. So let's hit a break here, Bubba.
All right, let's do it. We'll take a break here and be back with much more on our Thursday edition after this.
You look a bit nervous, hey?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, the World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. The official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get too quick and steak and lose.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get too quick to steak and lose.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox State College.
And back here on a Thursday afternoon as we gear up for Easter weekend and more importantly, the Pirates home opener. Buccos taking on the Orioles on opening day in Pittsburgh tomorrow, and then they'll finish up the series on Saturday and Sunday and see if the Buccos can build a little momentum after the 3-3 start here to the regular season, and coming off the 2 out of 3 in Cincinnati after losing in the opening game, coming back and taking the final 2, both by 8-3 scores, and now again setting the stage for at least a little more excitement and activity in Pittsburgh for the home opener, which again will be coming up tomorrow. Again, Final Four in men's basketball will be UConn and Illinois, and then Michigan and Arizona. And I think both games are, I think, intriguing matchups. I think the way Illinois is playing right now, it is impressive. And again, I think they have kind of that grit and determination that has allowed them to have the type of run. Obviously, UConn showed tremendous grit and determination in pulling out the win over Duke. So I think that's an intriguing matchup with, I think, the winner of that game very likely to be the projected underdog in the finals against the winner of the Michigan-Arizona game. And again, Michigan's chances certainly like going into the semifinals and then the championship game. So we'll see how all of that plays out over the course of the weekend. The women's Final Four, interestingly, it's the top 4 seeds, all of the number 1 seeds advancing to the Final Four. And UConn feels like if UConn's in, they're always going to be the favorite and the team that most are expecting to ultimately emerge as the champion. But we'll see how that all plays out over the course of the weekend, as we'll welcome Ki-Jana Carter in here and joins us here at Quaker Steak and Lube. We'll bring the dear Goon, try to get the this out.
Into another touchdown yet again.
Just what you do.
He was on the strong side, so he didn't have to run.
But I could run.
The double counters over nice, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Absolutely, it was nice.
48 double
counter.
Double counter. That was
48 counter. My brother still talks about it. We both played long tackling. Well, I could name our whole offense. I do it all the time. I'm just laughing. 43 slice, 32, 33 trap, 36 slant, 46 slant, 40 pitch. Yeah, all that stuff.
23 trap.
33 trap. Yep.
25 draw.
45 draw. 43 slice was Ki-Jana's play, though.
43 slice.
You hit that right.
Yeah.
And then Bunny Rabbit could hit it too. But
Bunny was nice.
45 lead was also nice. So I'll give you a story here, Ironhead. I may have told it over the years, but the last time we had like a reunion like 10 years ago, and my wife was standing next to Kerry Collins, Kyle Brady, and myself. I'm 6'7", Kyle's 6'6", and Kerry's 6'5". And I'm just like looking around. And she's like, she had to like walk away. She's like, my neck was hurting. You guys were like mutants. And then I was sitting there, and me and Kyle were like, he's laughing, and he's like, could you imagine being a defensive end, having to go through me, you, and then hit Milne or Whitman, the 260-pound fullbacks, just for the opportunity to tackle our 6'5", 250-pound quarterback,
right?
Who was just going to hit you, and you're going to bounce off of him anyway. So it's like, you better bring a lunch pail when that happens, man. When them boys walk out there.
Thank goodness Kerry didn't have to worry about that too much, though.
No. KC, Mr. 3 sacks. I'm telling you, that it's like, I went to this. So Ki-Jana's in town for a reunion. Coach Campbell has asked each decade to come back and at certain times and stuff. So he asked the 90s guys to come back this weekend. And
Easter weekend.
Yeah, Easter weekend's pretty hard, but I just think that's why there's only one decade that's doing it. And I don't know. He seems to have an affinity for our era.
Yeah, because he was a baby. That's what.
When he was watching at his opening press conference. I mean, I almost had tears in my eyes watching that press conference, talking about it when Coach Campbell was saying how much he appreciated his grandparents and how much they loved and adored the Penn State program. Excuse me, and Coach Paterno, and how proud they were as Pennsylvanians and stuff. And then he was like, well, then I'm looking out there, and there's this guy, Kyle Brady. And he goes, we played the same position in high school. And he goes, I didn't have his size. He goes, that's what I realized I was probably going to be a Division III guy. So I had met him last week, Key, and he's very, very interested in a lot of what we were doing back in the day. And having us here, you're gonna love him. He's an Ohio guy, so you're going to have that little thing with him.
Don't be bad, man. Yeah. No, he's a historian. I mean, the thing is, it's kind of put stuff in it's surreal, because I know we're at a certain age, but I don't think of us at that certain age. And then when a head coach of a university of our university saying, when I was little, I wanted to be like Kyle Brady, which is our teammates. I'm like, now you're like, okay, that old man is knocking on your door, because I don't really sense that. But what I've got for Coach Campbell is like what you say, Goon, is he loves the game. He respects the game. Tradition is everything for him. And nowadays it's all about me.
Sure.
And which is totally fine. But at the same time, you got to know where you came from and how the game came from. And I don't look for any accolades or anything. I appreciate he's saying it, but it's good that people know. Like when I was a fan, when me and Goon were in high school, I used to love Barry Sanders, Bo Jackson, Herschel Walker, Franco Harris. Like when I met them, I'm like, oh, because we loved the game. Yeah. I just knew the game. Where now a lot of kids, unfortunately, they don't know the history of football. They just know about now. They didn't spend time watching, someone playing on Sundays or Saturdays and things like that. So it was humbling to hear Coach say that, and now I would say, like for me and Goon, obviously he's a football structure. I mean, everybody loves Goon, but also they'll recognize because like he did all generate, because you get guys in the 60s, 70s. Obviously, I'll be honest, I don't know who they are.
Yeah,
but
that's who we are.
But to pay homage to them, make everybody feel like, hey, I'm a new coach coming in. It's not about me. I want to be another piece to this puzzle, which is called Penn State football.
Yeah.
But very, very humbling.
I tell Jeff all the time, I say, I think we got here and I came here. Obviously, I had my brother was here, so I was the 80s mascot, I always call myself. But it's just the human nature to try and do better than the guys who came before you. One is you don't want to embarrass yourself and embarrass them and their legacy, but you also want to do better than them.
Yes,
there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, there's I can hold my head up around these older guys and be, shake Shane's hand, Trey's hand, all these guys, Johnny Schaefer, DJ Dozier, and be proud of what we had done.
Right.
And then last week it was a lot of that. I sat. The way Coach has it set up is like the players are lined up, former players are lined up, and they introduce themselves, but the whole team is around in the Football Letterman's Lounge. And I was sitting out there because I wasn't up there to introduce myself because I was going to do that this week. So, and I'm like trying to tell these guys, I'm like, some of these guys in that lineup right there, Brian Seiberling, Danny Morgan, I think there was 13 guys, and it still baffles me. There was 13 guys from the 86 graduating team that played for 3 national titles. Bobby White being one of them. You know, that Shane Conlon was a redshirt in that class. So if you redshirted in 82, they were, Well, that's the trivia question. There's only one that played in both 82 and 86, and that was Matthew Momenka, the kicker. And he ended up redshirting later in his career. But there's 13 guys that played for 3 national titles in their 5 years at Penn State. That's pretty damn unbelievable.
Well,
I mean, I don't care.
You put that with any record.
Yeah, you're gonna go up there against the U with that type of record. And, Alabama recently. But that's where I always held the standard with our play. But I mean, it's the running joke between my brother's friends and myself is busting their balls about saying, well, I tell Trey all the time, I said we'd hang 40 on you, and he don't want to hear that.
100%.
He's sitting there saying, oh, the 86 defense, and I'm like, where's your pressure coming from? Tim Johnson, Mike Russo, Donnie Graham, Bob White. I said, I'm matching up our own line with those guys. It was Trey Bauer covering Brady down the middle of the field, Ray Isom, Al Palomalu coming in. I always kid around with them, and it's great to talk about that type of stuff.
That's like barbershop talk.
Absolutely.
Oh, we would have crushed y'all.
Yeah.
But that's good conversation to have. You're in that position to talk that.
Yeah.
So it's always good. It's always tough to determine, which is the best era. Because if you really think about it, I mean, crap. If you look at when Joe, like in the 60s, 70s, then he went back to back undefeated teams 2 years in a row.
69.
Didn't get nothing for it.
In his third year as the head coach.
That's crazy. So, I mean, it could be a whole lot more. But, again, it's always good. And like I said, I just appreciate Coach Campbell for thinking of the former letterman like that and want to include us back in, kind of like when Coach Paterno was here. And nothing against Coach Franklin. I mean, I can't say that he didn't, but it just seems like more and more he's embracing it a little bit more, where it's not about I need to set my own little niche within this. So, we're all together. If you win, your niche will be set.
That's what I said. That's a great line because I used it last week. I was sitting there talking to Cooper Cousins. He's a really good offensive lineman we got, and he played last year hurt a lot. Dude, he's put on 30 pounds since last season. He's 330 pounds right now. And Campbell on the offensive line.
It's a different 30 pounds.
Yeah, it's a different 30 than we put on and stuff like that.
Too.
Maybe that cruise we're on in August, we'll put 30 on each team. So, like say Cooper, so they like larger offensive linemen, larger. They're going to be a power muscle team and stuff like that. And Cooper, he was just sitting there. I'm not trying to call him out or anything like that because I've heard it from each guys that, So when we were done, everybody was done introducing themselves. Everybody broke out and they had dinner, and you sat by position.
Yeah.
So tomorrow you'll sit with all the running backs together, and I'll sit with the offensive linemen. So they were all just sitting there, and every one of them said, "It's fun again. It's fun again." And I was like, "What does that mean?" And I was like, "I could put 2 and 2 together and say it wasn't fun. Losing ain't fun, first of all.
No.
And then the more it happens, and they were saying that, and they're not trying to dog out Franklin and anything like that or anything, but it is. Well, there was definitely some pressure late in that season last year with what they went into the season with and what happened in the middle of the season, and then coach getting fired.
Yeah.
But my exact line to the guys was, "Yeah, you know what else is really fun? Winning.
Yeah.
Winning is the funnest thing you guys can do." So.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I would say is it kind of reminds me of going back to our 92 season.
Yeah. That's
we had
every
all
one
this
of us
hype.
goes back
We had all this hype coming in, and obviously we go 5-0 and lose to Miami, and then the team just now, obviously we didn't really have no say because we wasn't the starters or anything, but we made a vow after the last bowl game said that would never happen again. And I think that kind of goes into what Keith was saying is winning is fun. It has to be fun. And there's either they say pressure bust pipes.
Yep.
And either you can take the pressure and enjoy it and absorb it and use it as motivation, or you get in your head and you get so tense and you're like, oh, I don't know. You walk around like a nervous Nelly. And I think what we learned, obviously, in our 94 team, I'm not trying to talk about our team, but is like we had expectations losing the 2 games to Ohio State, Michigan. We were all back, and we had goals for ourselves that maybe the media didn't, but we took it on as motivation. And that's the thing you have to do. Now, granted, we didn't lose, but I guarantee if we would have lost, I would have felt bad for the next team we played against because we would have took all our aggression out on them. And that's what it is. And I think what happened, and again, it might not be Coach Frank, it could be leadership. I don't know what it was, but obviously losing that one game to Oregon, and all the guys like, oh, man, our season's over. No, the season's not over. It's a long season.
Two and 3 loss teams are getting in the playoffs.
It's a long season, and that's where you got to have it from the start down and say, you know what? Yeah, we lost that, but we got to regenerate. We got to get focused. We got to practice harder. We got to prepare harder. And I think if guys are going, on a team, we're all about individual stats or award or whatever. I don't know what it was, but there was no leadership within the team to saying try to keep that nucleus together. And one of the great things that happened, obviously, last year when Coach Smith came on, when the kids said it was fun, because he made it say, look, we got to take this one step at a time. We're going to win. We're going to play this one game. Hopefully we want to win, but you got to enjoy what you're doing. I don't care what you do. If you go to work, whatever it is, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're going to be antagonistic. You're going to fight it. And granted, when we played with Coach, he never made stuff fun because he made it tough. He wanted to put us through stuff. But at the same time, when I'm with my guy right here, that's where it's fun. I played my ass off for him, and he does vice versa. And I think
I don't want to hear it in the meeting room on Monday. I mean, I don't want to sit there in front of Bucky Greeley and Big Dre. I mean, we gave up 3 sacks our junior year. So I gave up the last one against Michigan in Game 6, and I still hold that over my head. I still think about that, how upset that is. And
you mean when you held on my touchdown?
Oh, here we go. See, I knew it was coming, Rock. He brings it up. I was talking about wearing a Rolex over here, and
here
he starts bringing up my hold against Michigan, man. What a blatantly bad call.
Oh, terrible. terrible. But yeah. So I mean, it's accountability.
No doubt.
And I mean, obviously with this whole NIL thing, and God bless the kids, but it's accountability. Like he said on Sunday, because obviously Saturday, regardless of what happens, we're having a nice little time Saturday night. Good or bad. But when I see him on Sunday or Monday, either we're going into breakfast. I don't mean to cut you off. We're going to breakfast or we're going into the spot. I'm not going to walk through that door and say, you're the reason why we lost that game. Or even if we lost, you didn't give it your 100% because I can't live with that. Because these are my guys.
Well, you fumbled there, you did that, or you didn't make a catch, that type of thing. Well, you didn't want to let anybody down.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, fumbles, interceptions, things happen. But if you're not giving 100% what you're doing, that's the part I can't live with. If unfortunately I fumbled or somebody, we lost the game. But did you not quit? Did you not try hard? The eye in the sky never lies. That's the camera. So we're just watching the team. I didn't want practice film, nothing. I don't want no other position than say, ooh, man, Ki-Jana was slacking today. If anything, in practice, I want to run a 70-yard touchdown. So
we had 9 tailbacks at practice. So you got 1 out of 10 snaps to practice.
So when Service tells him, say, hey, when this guy comes in, he's special. We got to block harder. I want to open everybody's eye every time I was on the field. That's just me.
And Key, I'll tell you a story that when you left, obviously you left early.
Yeah.
And we had Big Tootie coming in, Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
And Curtis was a linebacker the first week of the season.
Yeah.
He had 3 tackles against Texas Tech. And then the next week we're playing Temple, and Bunny Rabbit and Pitsy both got hurt. So they knew Curtis knew like 3 plays: pitch, toss, and and like 43 slice. I mean, there was a draw play,
right?
And that was it. And they'd bring him in there, and he was carrying the ball, and he was like sitting there, and it was like you with the speed and stuff like that. You got to hold him for this long, and he's going to get through there. But he had the power aspect to it, and it was like, all right, we got to change this up a little bit. They're going to run more of a power game with him. Just to say what Service would say about different guys coming into the game. and how we have to block this or do this differently type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to ask, we got a couple minutes and stuff like that, but I know sure as hell I know the game. It was Cincinnati, our first game live at Penn State in a home uniform. We played Georgia Tech in the kickoff classic,
Yes.
and Joe didn't break. When my brother started here, he brought the whole team down there, and he didn't like having the whole team down in New York. So that game, he left all of us back. So we were watching the game playing against Georgia Tech, defending national champions, and we smoked them.
Smoked them.
Terry Smith had a great game.
Smoked them.
The next week we're playing our home opener versus Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And, we win 81-0. And we're all on the sideline. We were all under the impression that you can play 4 or 5 games.
And we're dressed
sort of how the rules are nowadays, where you can play 5 or 6 games and still redshirt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know the rule, but it's
No,
insane.
nowadays, yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, basically you play half a season and still get it back.
7 games you could play, and
7 games.
Yeah, you could play 4 regular season games, a Big Ten title, and then the 2. If you play for the national title, it's 3 extra games. Kehoe's son did it. He redshirted and he played in 7 games.
Okay.
So we come back and win 81-0, and then we're all on the sidelines, and me, him, and Marco and Jeff are just sitting there, and we're like, dude, we're going to get in. This is amazing. We're playing in front of, I believe it was 89,000 at that time. And Joe walks over and he says, we're going to redshirt you guys. And I just remember him going, what? I didn't come here to redshirt. And you were mad.
I was out.
You were very, very mad. Now, put that into nowadays.
Oh, you want to know what happened, though, after the game?
You would have been gone.
Oh, yeah, I was out.
With the transfer portal.
So
how many of us?
So speaking of
and
that,
I always say every one of us at certain time or another would have said, "I'm done."
Well, you're blue blood. You ain't going nowhere. You had like 9 people from your family go to school here. So
true.
You ain't Mama Mary ain't letting you.
This is true.
Yeah,
you're right.
Going. But it's fun. So after that game, we didn't play. I was so angry.
Yep.
I didn't even go in the locker room. I went back to our locker room, whatever was. Lash had shorts on. I said, "Mom, I'm out."
Take me home.
I said, I'm out. I mean, no respect to the guys who were playing. I was like, we're beating this team 81-0. And you're trying to tell me all these guys are better. And when it comes into our scout team, we're destroying our defense. We are giving them fits every game, and we get to practice. And I'm like, you're gonna tell me all these dudes are better than me? Okay. I said, I'm out. And then so I went to the locker room, and then it just so happened Joe, I don't know, got wind or whatever it is, and came to the locker. And I'm walking back to the dorm, and he's like, well, we don't know. We want to know. Give you that whole little speech, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Am I allowed cursing? Am I allowed cursing?
No.
Yes. That's BS. I said, it's BS, coach. I said, there's no way you're going to tell me all these people are better than me, and they're going to play in this game. Well, I know about the red shirting, get used to school, this and that. And, well, obviously now, I mean, I left early, but it was probably one of the best things I did.
I mean,
it says I was pissed because I tell you what, our scout team the rest of the year, we literally, no, seriously, I'm not lying. We destroyed. So we would make our helmets into the other team and say, no, you guys are in trouble, because we're taking our aggression out on someone. Because if you're not gonna let us play, we're gonna have fun. That was probably the easiest job Bob Damon had that whole year.
Yeah, Doug Sieg, Bob Damon.
Yeah.
Who was the guy from UVA?
Daryl? No.
God rest his soul, by the way.
Was that Daryl?
He passed away, yeah.
Daryl or Dwayne?
Daryl.
Yeah. So
Daryl Hammond, he passed away.
Yeah, so make a long story short is
I mean, look at our scout team. So what they did is had the starting defense out there, and they had one scout team and then this other scout team, and they would just run rapid plays because it was conditioning for the defense also. So
we're better than the teams they played.
Think about the 94 offense. That literally was on the practice field in 1991. KC, John Sacka, Kyle Brady, all 6 or 7 of the offensive line, big Stratton, Eric Stratton, and then you had big Wayne Holmes out there. You had all the 4 of us and Bucky Greeley. I mean, D'Onofrio, Goganis, Louis Benfatti, then Lee Rubin, they were all like, dude, games were like the easiest thing of all time. But we were cool about it. I mean, we could have.
Yeah, we
could have pasted them and do a lot of different things, but it was always like, you got to get these guys ready to play on Saturday. So, Tuesday and Wednesday was our Super Bowl.
Yep.
And then we'd have fun Wednesday through Sunday. And, we did what redshirt guys do and go out and have some fun. And, those guys were going out winning on Saturday. We finished third in the country in 1991.
Yep.
Sort of out of nowhere. No one really expected that.
Correct.
How did you end up? So after that game, Cincinnati game, you're out. What was it like? Conversation with Joe, conversation with your mom.
Well, my mom was there too.
Combination of things.
My mom loved Joe, and Joe loved my mom.
He recruited the moms,
man.
man.
He knew. So he was saying things. My mom was like, she's like, well, you know what? Just give it a little bit. If you're not happy by the end of the season, whatever it is, then make a decision. So he was smart.
Did he say your mom's spaghetti sauce was better than Mrs. Capoletti's? And
well, my mom didn't do sauce. No. First of all, I didn't learn sauce till obviously he got here. No, we were but mom did soul food when he came.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's from Alabama.
Well, that was the Jimmy Cephalo story. That's how he got Cephalo
yeah.
because he was like, your mom's sauce is better than Mrs. Capoletti's, and Capoletti just won the Heisman. Jimmy Cephalo was like, I had no shot. I didn't want to go here. I was going nowhere but that because my mom was like, nope, you're going to play for Coach Paterno. Yeah. That's exactly what he did.
Yes,
he recruited the moms.
Smart way to do it.
It is, no doubt about that. Speaking of that, when I met Coach Campbell last week, Sue was there. And that's another thing that Coach Campbell has done. He's really brought Sue. He's really picking her brain about Joe and what he did. I mean, she was there the whole time. Why did he do this? What led him this way? What happened there? And he's picking her brain. I heard he's doing a dinner a week at her house, just having a couple hours a week. And she was at the event last week and stuff like that. So she was telling him.
Wow.
She was telling him about the stories about my mom and dad and how my mother kept everybody in line and stuff like that. There's 8 mutants in the house, and he was laughing. He loved it. And again, like I said, he was genuinely interested.
He's a historian. He loves it.
He was genuinely like, wow. Like he'll talk to us tomorrow. I mean, I go back to it. Like we were his team that when he started loving college football, he was watching us. And that's for an Ohio guy, that's saying a whole bunch, man, because Ohio State was loaded back in our era.
Absolutely.
I mean, loaded.
Yeah, I mean,
unlike these days when Ohio State,
Ohio State's like, they really
face of the map.
Yeah, they go have 5 dudes drafted from 3 to 5.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like I said, obviously, we had success on the field, but I love the game. I'm a sports fan, and no matter, I can go meet somebody right now, like, oh yeah, I wasn't good. I said, did you play? I said, we're all in a fraternity.
Yep.
And that's how I am, and I'm glad to hear that Coach Campbell is like that. And obviously, Sue, that's legacy. I mean, you don't see. She's like, I hate to say age, but she's one of the last of the Mohicans, the original, like Woody Hayes, Coach Paterno, Bowden, and all that. Coach Holt just passed away, so just to hear like the stories and all that, that's pretty cool. That he just wants to learn. Like, what made your husband tick? Because he don't get the credit, like obviously that he should because of what happened, but he's still the GOAT.
I want to go back to when you were talking about having fun, and obviously winning is fun.
Well, what fun are you talking about?
But the fun is competition, right?
Yes.
Like, I mean, that is the that's what makes it fun, and that's to me still what is disappointing, but also somewhat inexplicable about last season is, and again, especially in this day and age where a loss does not end your season. Is, man, now you have the opportunity to come back that following week or in the following weeks and, hey, let's get back to just competing and having fun, and they just didn't do it.
Yeah.
Until Terry took over.
Right. No, for this would be like the last time talking about Coach Frank. I don't want to crap on him, but it starts from the top down. Again, you lose. What are you going to do to prepare to get the guys ready for the next week? I wasn't in the locker room. I wasn't in the meeting rooms. I wasn't in this and that. But obviously there was something going on there. Now, the players got to take it on themselves, but it got to start from the top. If the head is sulking and nervous and tense and all that, that trickles down. Versus say, hey, you know what? Let's go out this next week and go kick some ass and take our frustrations out on UCLA.
Yeah, you think we would have.
You know what?
That's
my thing. Is like I want to beat them by 50.
Sure.
Yeah. That's my whole mentality. So it's one of those things where you can't put a pulse on it. And then, granted, yes, we are the players on the field and we got to play. But that first half against UCLA was embarrassing. Now, second half, we came back. We started looking like a team, and then going forward. But is that the play calling? Is it some of the players? No. Why did we wake up? Why is it? No, we have like a group chat that we have. We always talk, and we talk like a bunch of little kids. But it always seemed like last year, the year before, we were a second half team. It was almost like, can we get to the halftime? Either we winning or it's somewhat close or whatever it is. Because second half, we're barnstormers.
Yeah.
They always say that the opening games is when we have to travel west and we're in a different time zone. We always seem like we were sleeping during the noon games.
And that's a bunch of BS. Why haven't we woke up? And why can't we be a better first half team?
Yeah.
That's got to be coach and play calling, whatever it is. Oh, my phone died. Why couldn't we play better? And that was something that always bothered me because if anything, if you get off to a fast start, it makes that harder for that team. And granted, we came back because we were superior. We had good athletes. But you're going to play those games where you're playing Ohio State, or Michigan, or whatever it is. If you're losing at halftime, you don't have enough time to make that up. And I just think when you say Coach Smith it was a sense of urgency, like we have to start fast. One thing Joe always said, start fast. That first play we had, how many our season we had out of the how many open drives? I think we had like 8 touchdowns out of the, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You start fast because that not only that's a momentum builder for your offense, that's a momentum builder for your defense too. Like, and for the other team, like, these dudes come out to play.
Yeah.
Now it's a mental game. And the longer a team can stay in the game, the more they feel like they can play.
Couple things before just curiosity. Had a friend I was talking with last night that went out to the NCAA wrestling, and it's like I loved it, but we were right next to the Ohio State fans, and like they're hard on all of the Penn State kids, but Marcus Blaze especially because he's an Ohio kid and now at Penn State, and they're like, they were just merciless every time Blaze was on the mat. They were booing him. Do you still get grief now from Ohio State fans that that you chose Penn State? Is that still a thing, or we're letting bygones be bygones?
It was about 30 years ago. KJ, hold on a second, buddy. My son's over here ready to go play some games.
I can understand.
Well, yeah, yes and no, because obviously I'm from Columbus. So anytime you have a person who had that much success at another school where you could have went to that school, and then how we beat that school when we played them, you're always going to have some people like, man, we wish you were here. And I'm always going to have that.
Yeah.
A lot of times they say, you know what? Well, they felt like Coach Turner was a better coach than Coach Cooper. And that's sometimes the hall pass. But it's always going to happen. But at the same time, if you didn't do what you're supposed to do on the field, people wouldn't have that feeling. So it's kind of good.
Yeah.
And another thing you was asking about complacent, the greatest person to talk to right now is Coach Sanderson. Hell, we won 13 out of the last 15 national champions. Chips. And obviously you know, broadcasting the games, picking that guy's head because that's unbelievable. Like I know Dan Gable. I was never a wrestler, but I knew back wrestling, Iowa wrestling was it. He smashed what Dan Gable did, and everybody thought that was like untouchable.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just interesting the way because when you talk about pressure and having fun, obviously, in Penn's, the wrestling team almost gets made fun of because they're always talking about the fun, and it's like, well, is the fun creating the winning, or they're winning and that's fun? But when they talk about fun, it's not like they're in there just telling jokes throughout the entire practice. The fun is that they compete, and they compete in everything. It's all right. Who's going to have the most pins? Who's going to get the most takedowns in practice today? Who's going to do, the most chin-ups on a given day? Whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. But it's that camaraderie that's built through the competitive edge and everything they do to try to create that competitive fire and make it more about the competition, not the winning and losing. And that's, it's just different than anything I grew up around with coaching, where it's, the focus really is on, hey, just get better and try to win each little battle but don't worry about winning the matches. If you do all of this, the winning the matches will take care of itself.
The little things take care of itself. You work, and the thing is, it's like every day you win in practice. Every play, I want to win. I want to score a touchdown, this and that. Because if you take care of the little things, the big things take care of itself. And a lot of times, obviously, like the wrestling team and like our football team, sometimes we're better than the other team we're playing. So I'm going to try to beat the person across from me because they're better than the person I'm going to face. If I can be successful against them, I'm going to be successful against the team I'm playing.
Absolutely. I talk to Jeff all the time. So with wrestling and the different rules that are involved with wrestling, so the wrestling room, they might have 5 Olympians in there at a time. And you're a college freshman. You're going in and wrestling against a Schneider or a Brooks and stuff like that. How good you're going to get? I believe it was Barr who said, "I didn't think I could I'd ever win a match at Penn State because of who he was wrestling every day."
Yeah.
And then he goes and wrestles, and he goes, "I'm pretty good." You know what I mean? He didn't realize how good he was because he wasn't scoring on any of the guys in the room.
Yeah.
Wow. And then I equivocate that to like say like Micah Parsons and Saquon Barkley are on the practice field. Do you think you're going to get better as a football player? Absolutely. And then we had, the competition amongst ourselves and then the 94 team. And we were loaded. We had a great class, but we were a very cocky class, but we were also always out to try and do better than everybody else. And there was a competition to see. Everything was a competition. Everything. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 5 a.m. run was always like, you did a lot of hard running and stuff like that, but there was always competition at the end. And that's what you were living for. You didn't have to do extra running if you won. So it would be, relay races and stuff like that, jumping over tires and rolling tires. So anything just to get the competitive flow going. So I always say another great thing is, and Ironhead, I've said this before, is that when we used to go up in our basketball team, I really think that if you took 10 guys from our football team in that era, it would be competitive. Yeah. But we used to go up to the intramural building, and one time OJ got undercut. We were young kids. He got undercut, and it was like one of those things. Like this kid ran like he was going to get the living crap kicked out of him by like 15 players. So Joe ends up saying, "No, you guys can't go up there no more." But we all loved competition. We all loved playing basketball. That was our thing. So we would go up, and then Joe put up an indoor basketball court in Haluba just for football players. And I say that the games that went on that court, just amongst football players, was just unbelievable talent out there running around. But you weren't going to, I wasn't going to let Dre dunk on me. Marker wasn't a good basketball player, but Harding was a hell of a basketball player. Noble,
Joe
Vicious, all these guys, Jeff Perry, Brady, KC, geez. But the competition that went on and those at that level on a Saturday morning was just unbelievable. And that, and we were all friends, and in the end, we were all still teammates, and we were all very, very tight friends. So,
final question. We'll let you get going with your kiddo here, Ki-Jana, but a little bit on just when you were a kid. How many different sports were you playing, and what with your kiddo now? I'm just always interested in the philosophy because there's a lot of people. If I want my kid to be a scholarship football player, we got to get year round. You'll
burn the kid out.
We're seeing it like 7-8 years old around here.
No, you gonna burn the kid out.
Take me through as a kid. What were you doing throughout the course of the year in terms of athletics? And
I played football, basketball, track, and baseball. So I played before I got to middle school. In elementary school, I really only played football because we didn't have we had organized basketball, but I didn't know where to do this at. But when it comes into when I got to middle school, I ran football during the fall, basketball during the winter, track during the spring, and baseball during the summer. And then I just really focused on football, basketball, and track, and then do baseball more, which I probably should have kept on playing baseball. But every sport helps out sports. So like basketball helped me with my lateral movement, hand-eye coordination, your feet, your coordination, being in your center. And obviously track, sprinting and running and your reversing acceleration. So people who are out there having their kids play, baseball all year round, this and that, or football all year round, you're going to wear your kid out. You're not going to make it fun. And they're going to get to a point where the game is not fun to them anymore. It has to be fun. And so, even when I played, I ran track my last spring because I got burned out with football. And I asked that Joe, let me run indoor track.
You didn't want the summer workouts. Don't kid yourself.
I want to get away from football to get my mind rejuvenated so when football comes again, I'm excited about it. Because football year round, I can't do that. I love it, but I need a break. I need to downplay to rejuvenate myself. So I think the more sports you play, you're an athlete. And majority of the guys on our team, like he was saying, I got to go to basketball.
Every one of them.
Everybody was a multi-sport athlete. And the ones who are not, you can see out there because they're very, very stiff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very, very stiff. And that's not an athlete. And it's very important. And depending if you're a lineman, a running back, linebacker, whatever it is, you got to have some fluidity. You got to have some fluidity in yourself. And those other sports help it.
I got to give Ki-Jana a lot of credit here because his golf game is damn good. That's where he gets his competitive outlet right now. Yeah.
I don't get to play it anymore like I used to.
Well, I mean, I could see why.
Yeah.
But yes, I will say that you've taken the golf game to a new level. I mean, it's very nice. That's you.
I enjoy it.
I hate it. I can't do it. I won't do it. When I got guys half your size out driving me, I'm like, well, what am I doing?
Yeah. That is a humbling thing, though. When you get these little pencil kids and they're smacking it, and I'm asking, like, how are you hitting it that? Oh, but you got to do this. I'm like,
it is.
Like I'm doing that, aren't I? Aren't I doing that?
Like trying to learn German right now. Like,
am I doing it? I was doing that. Like, no, you weren't. I was doing it. Yes. And it's frustrating when I wake up. I told you, Ironhead, when I used to wake up sore from playing golf and from playing football, I knew something was wrong here. So that's all getting worked out with the surgeries and all that stuff. So it's all good.
Hey, always good to see you, Ki-Jana. Thank you for the time. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, we'll take a break and be back with a final wrap for our Thursday show after this.
You look a bit nervous, hey?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, the World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. The official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox State College.
And back here on a Thursday afternoon, a final segment of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. Again, Quaker Steak and Lube, our home away from home here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Just great food, great beverages, great company, and best service you're going to find in the area. Again, a huge thank you to Ki-Jana Carter for joining us for portion of the show today. It's interesting. I just had going to go off on a bit of a tangent, but we had the State College Youth Wrestling Banquet was last night, and I am just struck by how many and obviously wrestling is a big part of my life, but it extends beyond that. The number of people with the State College Youth Wrestling that are just great people and love giving their expertise and encouragement to young people. And again, I know a lot of people involved in baseball and softball in the area. Mm-hmm. Same thing. And you go right down the list of sports. And one of the reasons I really hope kids don't get pigeonholed into a sport at an early age is just so that they get exposed to, and again, it's not just sports. I mean, that's kind of my bailiwick, but we have some great people in the theater that work with young people in this area. I mean, great people, and they are really good at working with youth, musical instructors, and right on down the line. I would encourage all parents. Again, you don't need to expose your kids to everything, but I would expose them to as much as you can and let them figure out what. Hey, you know what? Basketball, this isn't really for me. Sure. Or hey, you know what? Basketball, that was awesome, man. I really that was fun. Volleyball, that's not for me. No, you know what? Volleyball was awesome. That might be. And if you expose them to a bunch of different things, and again, maybe none of them take. It's like, I don't mind doing that for a month or two. Cool. Let them experience life. Expose them to different things. And to me, if you are a good enough athlete, right, you are. It's going to be honing those competitive fires that's going to get you to that next level, not getting a specific skill in a sport. It's my opinion anyway. And again, there's exceptions to everything. Obviously, pitching is a specialized thing. And if you have a true love of it and a proclivity, but obviously there you've got to be careful at a young age what exactly you're doing. You just need to be smart, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
about it.
I know a guy who was involved in Austin's tournament, played pro baseball, very, very good college baseball player, and then he was in the MLB. He talked about how he has his son on pitch counts because he goes, we could play year round here, and like the human arm, it should not be throwing 52 weeks a year. You're going to, like, the definition of burnout's going to happen. So he said, I mean, and then, you do hear people and then you see that they're way too involved and they're way, I have a pitch count for my son. But he explained it to me and I was like, dude, you're right. No doubt about it. That's a good idea, a good plan.
You're trying to help them. Like genuinely.
So he was telling me, he's like, look at Major League Baseball. He goes, look at the pitchers and relievers, and he goes, a lot of them, more so that are American, are from the North. And that's because we can't play year round. And then I said, well, what the hell? How do you explain the Dominican guys and the Caribbean guys and the South American guys? He said he just didn't, he didn't have really an answer for me, other than, it's just, they just play year round down there.
Yeah.
It was a bizarre thing that I started looking at it and I was like, damn, he's right. And then, and that's why I think that your generation and we're the same generation as our generation, we all played baseball. I would love to go to like this football team right now and ask all the running backs how many of you guys played baseball growing up? How many offensive linemen? How many of you guys did you play basketball? It'd be interesting to see the difference now. And here, Ki-Jana played football, basketball, baseball, and track. I mean, that's pretty much what everybody was doing when we were growing up. It'd be interesting to see what these guys had done, in high school. Were they playing? Like, I was breaking Marco's chops about basketball because Marco was from Long Island. They played lacrosse. So he was getting his footwork, and that's what the biggest thing to me was lateral movement, like Ki-Jana just said, the lateral movement of playing basketball. It's just such a huge thing, and it's not how fast and how high you can jump at times. It's moving your feet. And a guy who's 6'8", like I was, and 275 pounds in high school, you can move your feet. That's a big man moving around in a high school game. So no one dunked on me.
Yeah. But I do think just again getting that exposure, and the number of sports that complement one another if you're trying to develop a particular skill set. Again, to me, all right, develop the competitive edge and then let the skill set in whatever sport you're doing during a season contribute to the skill set that you need and whatever your ultimate passion is, or whatever you decide is your ultimate vehicle. And again, that's if you're talented enough. And that's the other part of it is, the majority of kids are ultimately going to be like me. Sorry about that, dear kids. But you're not going to be playing Division I sports, and you're sure as heck not going to be playing professional sports. So why not enjoy the opportunities and memories of creating different friendships? That's one of the, and I was just thinking about this at the banquet last night. It one of the fun things for me as a parent now is watching the different friend groups that the Mad Turtle is forming with his scout experience, and he loves scouting, baseball, wrestling, and it's different. He has different buddies with each of them and different memories, obviously, that he's going to take from it. And again, we'll see how he grows and what he ends up gravitating toward. But it's like right now, just to enjoy it.
I told you we
learn
were.
And
a funny story is I said Tuesday, my high school freshman year football coach passed away. So I was on a text chain with like 10 of my, Fitz, Butler, all these guys that I played high school football, baseball, basketball with. And it's just busting chops about like losing that game to Archbishop Bryan and December or November of 1990, and we all remember like it was yesterday. And what happened, and if you made a play or I made a play or this or that, we'd be a different thing. And
yeah,
here we are 40 years later, still 35 years later from our high school reunion, talking mad junk. So, but that's the stuff that he's going to remember. That's that circle of groups that he has. And I know exactly what you're talking about because I have moved around. And I have a circle of friends that, I was in, growing up in Philadelphia, my high school friends. You have your college friends. I have your post-college friends. I moved to Richmond, Virginia. I have a subset of people that I still know from down there I talk to a lot. I moved to State College. I grew a whole another set of big, huge group of friends. Friends like, you're in that one. And, Brennan's in that. He was just here. Ray Rocky was just here. And, that's the group I'm still talking to about this, but you can always still go back to, the guys that you grew up with. And I know that my high school had a reunion. Not high school, my grade school, Holy Martyrs grade school. They had an all-class reunion about a month ago, and I could not make it because it was right around the surgery. So just the stories and the pictures I saw, and it was just like days upon days of just busting chops or remembering stories. And then, when they were there, my sisters and brothers were saying how much fun it was talking to all these people. I mean, something as stupid as if a certain teacher had some kind of idiosyncrasy like that you picked up on.
Yeah.
Like we had a lady who, she'd say, hey, bring this note down to Mrs. Hines. And she'd be like, go. And she would like push you out. So her name is Miss Nowak. So we said, Miss Nowak. That's what we had. Everybody was saying that the day of the event. It was just so funny.
Yeah.
Especially funny when Mrs. Nowak showed up too.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
But that's
it's the beauty of growing up, man. And I love the fact that the Turtle can do all of that. Love it. The more you can do, the better. I mean, the scouting thing, the wrestling thing, the rock climbing. I mean, no one's getting that experience.
Yeah, that we didn't have when I was a kid.
You got to really appreciate State College for that aspect. It is a wonderful place to raise children. Wonderful.
It is. And there's some things that we haven't done, or at least haven't done yet, that I would love to experience just because everybody we talk to that's in like the youth track and field programs, those coaches do an unbelievably good job of making that fun for the kids. Again, teaching them some fundamentals, but letting them have fun and enjoy the experience. And some of the swim teams, the youth swim teams locally, also, again, everybody we talk to, it's like, it's been a great experience. Now the meets, you're sitting there for hours for the 30 seconds your kid gets to swim. I get it, and it's the length of some of the events, the baseball games that it's like, all right, we're sitting here in the Pee Wee. But you have to enjoy that stuff and be amused by it. And again, hopefully
parents and grandparents love it.
Yep, and hopefully you can create some memories as well with the fellow parents and going through the experience. Yep, we're sitting here too, waiting for our kid for another hour till they come up. But that's kind of the part of the fun of it ultimately as well. But that'd be my pitch is, and again, I always are there exceptions to the rule? Sure, but they are really few and far between. I like 95% plus of kids are going to be better off being exposed again to a wide variety of different, not just sports, but different experiences.
Sure.
And then let them kind of figure out.
He was into karate for a little bit too, right?
Well, he wanted to try. We still have not done that. And I just mentioned it the other
that's
day.
Amazing.
Like, do you
that
wanna...
in itself is just amazing.
It is. Yeah, I don't know if we'll ultimately. And again, one of the tough things, it is great being in this area, but there is still only so much time in a day. You still. You want your kids to be able to have some time to truly just be kids too, like not have, like just go do your own thing, not have any structured, organized event. And I will tell you, that is getting harder to make sure that gets scheduled in as well, just because, again, school and then with these different activities, which, again, he enjoys and we want to expose him to, but it's like you do need an hour or two here or there to just, just go use your imagination, play, not have any instruction or anything. Just, hey, if you want to go dig a hole in the dirt, go do it, whatever it might be. I mean, that's should be part of the childhood experience as well. But along those lines, it like I'm saying, expose your kids to as much as you can. And Reggie would love to do swimming, would love to try gymnastics. It's like, all right, again, we only have there's 24 hours in a day. There's only the 365 days in a year. If you're doing this, this, and this, you know, again, you don't want to overschedule to the point where, all right, we're exposing him to 20 different things, and he has zero time to just be a kid, you know, sitting in his room throwing a ball against the wall. Like, so that's tricky too. And you know, it's nice to be an area where the biggest problem is, we aren't going to be able to do all 50 things that are available to him. We've got to pick, 15 that we can do in the given year. So, anyways, that would be my plea out there. And I've just,
by the way,
I've seen some kids that, their parents are just, they're not letting them have that experience. And I really would encourage you to do that.
My father used to say about letting your kids grow up on their own, not being overly involved. And my father would use the words, you got to let these kids learn how to fly.
Yep.
And,
part of
everybody knows the stories of people who go to college and they completely flame out because it's the first time that no one's really watched them and guarded them and protected them and that they're on their own and they don't want to do it. They want to party. They want to do this and that. So as my father would say, let them, you're going to make mistakes. Let them make their mistakes as they grow up. Don't hover, helicopter parent them and stuff like that.
Yep.
Give them
let
wings,
them
let them
skin
fly.
their knees. It's going to be okay.
My mother-in-law said, hey, guess what?
Heal.
If you yell at the kid to not eat the dirt and he doesn't eat the dirt, guess what he wants to do? He wants to eat that dirt. But guess what you do? You let him eat the dirt and he'll never do it again.
Hey, you know what? This doesn't taste as good as that.
Just topsoil cheese
jelly sandwich.
Oh, this is mulch.
How about it?
Good show,
right.
Ironhead. Good show.
Yeah, thanks again to Ki-Jana Carter. Always great to catch up with Ki-Jana, and we appreciate his time and his son being willing to give us his dad for at least part of the.
You got 22 minutes out of it, and
it is funny, man. Kids love their parents. That's a wonderful thing. Folks, we hope you have a great Easter weekend. We will be back on Tuesday. Until then, be good and be safe.
You look a bit nervous, hey?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, the World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. The official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get too quick and steak and lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get too quick to steak and lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, And I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again,
The Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College.